is great to see you. I'm glad you are here joining us on Discover Magnificent You Chats. Good to see
Well,
you.
thank you so much for inviting me. I'm thrilled.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have your water and your drink. We're all set, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Marsha, at this point in our lives, we all know we've had obstacles. What's been your biggest obstacle? How did you overcome it?
Well, probably my biggest obstacle is myself and just, wanting to be perfect. And I know now there's no such thing as perfection, and pleasing other people. And so through that process of life, I realize I need to please myself and do what works for me first and foremost at this point in my life. So how I overcame it, I think I've got a lot of tools in my toolbox. And so I use my spirituality. I do yoga. I do meditation, but probably just accepting myself for who I am. It was probably one of the biggest hurdles, that I overcame, and just excited about that.
How did you finally accept yourself? I'm hearing that you did meditation, yoga, so there were tools to support you. Is that right?
Yes, and also people. I mean, I've got mentors, friends, family that will support me and listen to me. I think, we all need someone to listen to what's going on, because we're human and we're emotional and we're brilliant. And so I think that's helped me so much.
Yeah, sometimes women don't seem to ask for help. I think that we're kind of used to like doing it all on our own. I mean, we get pregnant, which is, I think, very challenging to be, have the babies we do, and historically all the grunt work. And I think for us to reach out, I know it was always hard for me to reach out even when I was married. It was very difficult to ask for help.
And I find that very, very true. I still struggle with that sometimes, because I'm going to go in and just do it and I don't need the help, but I realize that that's really not the way it works. And I have some really close people around me that I can ask for help. And we sort of push each other to ask for help. It's like encouragement. You need encouragement. So, yeah.
Yes, you've done a lot of different kinds of trainings. I mean, you are somebody who's done so much I guess you call it actualization.
Yeah.
And I think that, I don't know about you, but we share a lot of that parallel things where we've been doing this for many, many, many years. And we have all, like you say, the toolbox. And the biggest thing of all is support for me.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that from you too, because a lot of times women don't want the support. Like I say, we're used to doing it on our own.
I think that's been probably one of the hardest things for me. It's a pandemic, and on the same token, it's given me an opportunity to use my tools that I do have. But I'm used to going and being and doing, and it's like, no, you are grounded, you're home. And I go out very, very rarely. And yet then I started figuring another way to be and do. And yeah, I like to educate myself too. So there's a lot online, and I'm a Zoom addict, I guess you could say, because there's a lot on there and you could spend many hours. So, yeah. And I'm not doing my business right now. So that's been, sort of challenging for me.
Yeah.
And I miss that connection.
And I think that's especially why, all of us, I think, need each other in some way. And I know for me, it is challenging when I just say, look, as a matter of fact, I was talking with a friend of mine on the phone today, and I thought to myself, Jody, I've been not sharing something with her, and we talk every day, and it's been going on for like a year. And I finally said, I need to share this. And I just laid it out, and I felt so much better when I got her support and knew that, okay,
Yeah. it's funny how we sort of put ourselves in that box of not asking, for the support that we know. Actually, I think when we tell someone we need the support, they're thrilled. Especially, I know for me, I'm always supporting other people. And so when I ask for support, it's like, oh, finally, you asked. And, I'm going, yeah, I do. I internalize it, and I'd rather, share it. Because you get a relief. Number one, you get some ideas, you get some love from that person. It's really amazing when you go outside and do that.
Well, I think that when we have support, we're also, be it a life coach, a counselor, anybody, or a friend, family, we are giving the gift of being able to receive from them. And I think that's a cycle, as you well know, with the energies that we need to keep up, because we are one verse.
Yeah. I know years ago, I started my spiritual journey in 78, but, it was always like giving is receiving. But what about receiving? Is that is a gift? And, so it's a give and take thing. And we need to do that because we're human and we need that support, especially women, I think.
That to me gives me life, makes me feel younger or young at heart.
Well, yeah, and as long as we're here, I hope to grow every day of my life that I'm here, because, I just feel like it's an important journey. And it's nice to be in the wisdom sort of side of it, but you're right. I'm not, they say the wise woman. Well, yes, and there's room to grow in that wisdom. So.
Well, I'll tell you, and also I think the friendships can become more equal. Yeah, it's funny that way, because we don't, but as long as I'm willing to open myself up and be, as you say, vulnerable, then I don't know what, as a matter of fact, that's what my friend was even saying this morning. She said, well, now you are opening this up because you're sharing it with me. You're opening this up to the universe. So the universe knows and can help you.
Exactly.
And that was really, and I thought, I say that all the time.
Sometimes
you need to say what, you need to hear what you say all the time.
And how powerful is that when you open up in the universe, here's your need. And it will, I've had miracles happen and things provided that I went, okay, I get it.
Well, one of many miracles, I'd like you to share about your saging and how saging has helped you support, as we're talking, and what it is, because I think that is a real gift. And the fact you even like the smell, I don't know, what do you use? You use white sage?
White sage normally, yeah. And sometimes I'll mix other things in there. Well, it's really interesting. I've been doing it for years, and I sort of I kept that hidden. It was like, I don't want anybody to think I'm a woo-woo type person. I am a woo-woo type person, but, and so all of a sudden, I guess a few people started asking me to do it for them. And so I did, but I never told anybody I was doing it. I didn't advertise that in my business and things like that. And so I started doing it, and really did it to clear the energy in their home. Or then some people started asking me about their business. So they wanted me to clear the energy in their business. And they said, well, this is going on and that's going on. I said, okay. Well, I started doing it, and all of a sudden I started getting messages. And so I started doing a reading with at the beginning I was a little bit like, whoa, what's going on? Why is this information coming to me? And then I realized it was just a gift coming through me. So I shared.
And I'm sorry to interject, but I was just thinking there might be a lot of people that really don't know what saging is, and they might think it's using the sage that you pour on,
Oh, yeah,
meals or something.
spices.
Yeah, spices. That's right. So,
or herbs.
yeah, and briefly
So,
explain what it is and
well,
what it means when you say
yeah,
it.
it's a Native American process that they use in their ceremonies, and use a shell for the bowl, and you actually use the white sage, and they're selling it everywhere now. I
Oh
see
yeah.
it a lot of different places. I mean, I got it in New Mexico and different places because I like sort of more pure sage that's actually cultivated from the field.
Now, excuse me, white sage is literally white.
White
She's not
sage.
just like saying it. It is really white.
Well, yeah, and they dry it and they wrap it in thread in a certain way, so it's easy to access. Plus, I tried using a lighter and things like. No, I use matches. So it's like I started learning what it took to actually do this in a very ceremonial way. And I say a prayer before. I use the 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. I ask for the highest good for whoever I'm doing it for. And so I created a ceremony around it that I use. And that seems to really resonate and work. And if the person's home, I will sage them, but I ask them to really, it's really better when they're not there, I think, because I think their energies sort of maybe canalize what's going on. But if they are, then I just, they just go to a different side of the house and I sage them and just say prayers for them. And so I love the purification part of it. And I also use sound. I do some chanting. I also use bells. So I use things that will break up the energy. So that's what started. And then I did it for some people that were well known in the community and things. And I ended up on Deborah Duncan's show.
Wow.
But I had done her house, but I never told anybody I did, because I'm like one of these confidentiality people, because I was raised that way in my counseling career.
It's important, yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to go around saying, oh, guess whose house I did. But she revealed it she asked me to be on last October on her show, and then she revealed that I did it for her. And that was fine. It's up to her to do that. But I think it really has, from what I can tell, it's helped people who are sort of in that quandary and going, things are going on in my home or in my business and I can't explain it. And so I give them some answers to what's going on.
Yes, and I think that you and I we complement each other in that way, because you do it with the energies and with the saging. Now, you said north, south, east, and west. I knew that I was involved in a ceremony where we said certain words. I mean, there were certain things we had to say as we faced each direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's helpful. I don't spend a lot of time doing that, but I just want to make sure that everything is basically covered in that respect. I really enjoyed that process of walking around with the sage bowl. And
so it literally is a bowl. She literally has it in. She takes the match. Now I have to ask you a question. A match is a modern, quote unquote, thing. So what's the difference between a match and a lighter, like an automatic lighter?
I don't know. The lighter just does not work very well. And it seems like if I had a flint and I made my own fire, I guess would be really authentic, but not so much. And And you don't have to relight it from time to time
Right,
when it
yeah.
sort of fades out.
Mhm.
And I use a feather to spread the smoke from that. And it does. I mean, if you walk in someplace and you know how you walk someplace and it's uncomfortable and you're like, you don't know what's been going on there. Then after you sage, it just seems so peaceful and serene, and it just seems like you feel more comfortable being there. It's been really interesting, and I did go to New Orleans to someone's home there, and I talked to some entities that were there. And
What did you find? And also, how did you are clear? You are saging to clarity. And my question also is two things. One is, what did you uncover? And number two, how do you detach so you don't carry the energy out?
well, that's interesting. I think I've learned over the years with all my practices that I've done to detach and just not get enmeshed with what's going on, that I'm a carrier. I'm just the person giving this message to the people, the reading. And I just say a prayer when I'm leaving and just say, I'm leaving this here. This is, for them. It's really their journey more than mine. It's just coming through me. So I don't feel like I carry it out with me.
How do you get clarity through saging? What do you use a particular way that's different from when you go into other places, or is it the same?
What do you mean other places?
Well, like when you go into buildings or when you go into somebody else's home. But what about when it's on you? Because sometimes I find when I do things on me, it's almost harder in a way because it's hard for me to separate because I know what to expect.
Yeah, it is a challenge to do that in your own environment, to separate from. It's easier for me to do it for someone else, truthfully. I mean, than do it for my own self. And then I'll go, it's time to sage. I just know when it is.
Yes.
Because I'm real sensitive to energy. So that's part of it. But anyways, I did get some information in that New Orleans house, and it was really interesting to just get the message. I knew something happened in that house, but I didn't know what. And when I went, I actually stayed there, and when I went up, they said, oh yeah, pick one of the rooms upstairs. It's someone I know. And I went upstairs to pick one of the rooms, and one room I couldn't even walk into it. Wow. And I'm going, OMG, what is going on? So I waited till, because we had a group of people there, I waited till everybody was sort of away. And I like to sometimes do it at night in that kind of situation. And I went into the room, and the person started talking to me and telling me information. And what happened is this girl died in that room.
I was thinking that. I was thinking there's probably a death there because of that heavy energy.
Yeah.
And just when you can get so attuned like that. And the way that you bring so much clarity through saging is a real gift to many people.
Yeah.
And to have that gift and to have that leaning is really something that is now, in my mind, much more, quote unquote, acceptable. They don't think we're quite crazy and nuts if we do that.
And I figured, if someone thinks I am, oh well. But, it is more acceptable today. And I think we're being more educated about something like that, or some people are. And I love the Native American culture. I went to a medicine wheel gathering many years ago, and we got educated about nature and how to treat the land and the animals. And I'm going, oh my God, these people have so much wisdom. Thank you. I really was grateful they shared him with Black Elk. He was a chief. that came from Washington State. We were just, I don't know how I ended up there, but I'm going, thank you for the experience.
How fabulous is that? And the thing is that we both do is move energy.
Yeah.
You move it literally with the entities, with the saging, and I move it. I mean, moving energy is not like this big mystical thing that you have to have a PhD in being a guru or something, you know? I mean, you can move energy by taking a shower, you know, by just, it's how we transition. We're all energy. And I move it by the questions I ask, by having the, practical ideas, and you move it in a different way. And that's why I think we complement each other. And it's how we get unstuck. It's all about stuck energy in my mind.
Yeah, because what are we here for? We're here to really be loving and caring and kind and learn our lessons that we were handed, I guess, at birth. I mean, we came in to learn something, and I feel, well, okay, let's work through everything and, hopefully come up on the other side of a better spirit and energy.
Yeah.
And human, We only have these bodies for this lifetime, or maybe we come back, but if we, even this lifetime, that's why I don't like to sleep too much, because I don't want to miss out on anything.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping clear, because the clarity you do from saging and from that kind of culminating in so many things that you've done over many, many years helps others and connects and supports. And that's what we're all about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.